Yay Media Group.
That's the pineapple and tahini and watermelon tahini.
Yeah, that started in California, being on the beach. I loved when they would walk down the beach.
Mango.
Yeah, or on the side of the streets. They always over by
mango
where
with
we
tahini.
lived.
That's the jam.
Yeah, mango with tahini.
We're giving you
is
guys
good.
some summer recipes today for no reason. I don't know why.
Hey guys, episode 137. I feel like a big bloated turtle right now.
Why? You got ready too.
I know, but it's raining, and then
It's
you know what the thing is in the South? When it rains, my hair just gets curlier and it looks so good. And then here it rains and it just gets flat and just gets undone. And I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
so you got that attitude.
I miss having like not crusty heels. And in the South,
I do too.
I never had that. My mom.
I'm meaning that for you.
I know. My mom moved down to the beach. So I'm like, okay, I think I might just go down there and just be on the beach with her. She got mad.
And get those
Peyton,
crusters in the
get those crusters in the
Atlantic?
sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no showers. I don't shower when I go to the beach. And I shower in the ocean. It's so good for you. It's so good for your hair, your skin, everything.
That's the worst. Like
being salt.
when I get into salt water, I love it. I love the ocean. I love being in the salt water all day. But I rinse off either at the beach, and I definitely take a shower when I get home. Because otherwise it's like that.
Oh,
like
I
when you
love
move.
that
Oh
feeling.
my God. You can't even put a
I
t-shirt
love
on.
being salty. Megan, Miss Burns, if you follow my Instagram for a long time, Megan was we met in 9th grade, and she's been my friend this long period of time. And her and I, she was the same. She wouldn't shower. We just would be sandy and burnt. And I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like being clean at the beach.
wonder
And then
why-
you don't wear makeup.
I wonder why the South gets the name white trash a little bit.
And you don't wear makeup at the beach. You just throw
That
your
was
hair
a
up
joke,
and
Southern audience. I understand. Many of you are from the South. That was a funny little joke. Ha ha.
So last night, Jeff and I took the boys with our neighbors to Forrest.
Forrest Frank.
Oh, wait. Why did I say that wrong? Forrest Frank. Sorry. Said that totally wrong. He's so cute. All the kids. Okay. Only reason I know who he is because my kids love him and we play his music all the time. After being at his concert, I feel like I'm even a bigger fan. While the kids were in school today, I was jamming to his music. He's like a white Christian rapper. And I think he got a start on like TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram.
He's really talented.
Very talented.
Yeah.
It was so cute watching all the families and kids. That's like all it was. And teenagers were all there. Everybody was so into it. So were our kids. My neighbor's kids is cute. She has a 4-year-old and he came and he knows all the songs as well. And he brought this young girl up on stage and she killed it. She did such a good job. And just how he was interacting with the audience, I feel like somebody like him who, if you come up from getting famous on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, social media, anything like that, you're more appreciative. And you can feel it. And you just know how like interactive he is with other people.
Yeah, he's really good with the crowd. It was interesting that when he played that piece about his grandfather preaching in the beginning, I didn't know he came from like that type of family, you know, that. So it's kind of like in his blood to do that. But he picked a really unique way to get out that type of message. And if you were just listening to his music, unless you really paid attention, you wouldn't know. You just think this guy's just a rapper or whatever. But if you listen to the words, they all are about God and positivity, and you should look them up. There's a song I think his most famous is "Up," right?
Yeah,
I once was down, but now I'm up. Yeah, and he played that right away. He's got more songs that I knew than I thought I did, so he had a lot. But he got his message out, like Jordan said. He was just really great with the crowd, and it's just him. You know, he's got a little band back there,
and he was showing how he makes his music, and he was showing
that
like
was
the
cool.
beats, and just for him, just taking that time. I was like, I can't believe he's just talking. There is as if he was talking as if it was just you and I sitting here.
Yeah.
And all these people behind him. I would be so nervous.
No,
trying
he's
to be
really great. He really
perfect.
captivates the audience. I'm glad that was the kid's first concert. So I'm glad that was it. Cause they listen to some other songs and I'm like, what are you listening to?
Oh,
You
it's the
can't listen to
worst.
this.
Yeah.
And so this was a good, like positive concert, whether what you believe or not. He's very talented. And
then we leave. So I'm that
well, wait,
person like,
before I brought a pack, we're going to a concert at Red Rocks and I packed like a little cooler with beers and a football and snacks for the kids and water and all this stuff. So I make, we park and I open the trunk and I have a little beer and I'm throwing a football to Lawson. I'm like, how come nobody's crushing beers? And Jordan's like, because it's a Christian concert.
yeah. I was like, nobody's drinking a Christian. I think you were probably the only person there.
I did feel bad. I hit it because I was like, whoa, maybe you can't drink here. First of all, what do you mean you can't? Yeah, you can. But you're at a concert. I wanted a beer. And so some ladies were coming and I was like, when we were playing football and I was like, hey, could you bring blankets into the concert? Cause it was really cold here in Colorado yesterday. It's rainy today, but we bundled up and she had a bag full of blankets and all this other stuff. She goes, oh yeah, I just checked. You could definitely bring a blanket. And they had White Claws. Oh. And I was like, oh, there we go.
There you go. You found your people.
Yeah, but people were kind of hiding it.
Yeah. I didn't. And I had to drive us home.
Yes.
But we did go, because we always talk about it. We went to Tony Rigatoni's.
Yes.
And Jeff did not ask about the Jardiniere. But as we were leaving, there was an older guy there and an older lady working. And I was like, oh, I wonder if those are the owners. That just must be the couple. And Jeff's like, are you Tony? He goes, no. He's like, we just made that name up.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
But he was the owner, right?
I think so, yeah.
And him and his wife
introduced
were working.
himself. He was really sweet. But yeah, he goes, we just made up Tony. And I was like, oh, I'm like, your food's good here. And he's like, oh, thank you. I'm like, I'm from Chicago too. And he goes,
saying a lot.
That's saying a lot. And then when we walked out, I'm like, oh my God, I should have asked that guy where the Jardiniere came from. It's not so much getting to the bottom of where the Jardiniere came from. Now it's just kind of a joke. And I wasn't really in the mood yesterday to joke with the waitress. So I was like, I saw the Jardiniere and I was like, I'll just let it go this time.
Mm-hmm. Jeff got me on Burrata. I love that cheese.
It's a jam. If you guys don't know what burrata cheese is, it's very similar to mozzarella cheese, but not, I'm talking the fresh mozzarella cheese. It comes in a ball. Burrata is the same thing, but it's like a little bit gooier. You almost pop it, but it tastes very similar to mozzarella, just a little, it's great with an arugula salad and balsamic vinegar and some peaches. There's a great recipe online. I was going to say,
that's Jeff's summer recipe for a salad. If you ever have that at a restaurant, get it. When we went to the Broadmoor, that's what I got, a burrata. You just turned me on burrata. I just could sit there and just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Give me tomatoes, balsamic, bread, and a salad, and I'm in.
Yeah, that's all we got. The kids got pasta and stuff, and I just got the charcuterie board, antipasto board. That's all I ate, and then you got the salad.
Jeff bought me some because I will crush some tomatoes if they're red. They got to be the right type. If they're not really red, I know a good tomato or not. And if it's a good one, I'll crush them. And it had a worm in it. And that grosses me out, a little white worm. Because I was washing it and I was cutting it and I took it out and I was like, ew. And my brother just texted me that he had this pepper. And he goes, there was a worm in it. He just texted me a minute ago. He got, he just was texting me. And so I sent him a vomiting, throwing up. I was cutting up a pepper yesterday Megan got from Harris Teeter. When I cut it open, there was a worm on the side of the pepper. And
well, bugs get in stuff, it's pretty natural. I know. I saw that video. Did you ever see that video about strawberries?
Yes, and then for the longest time.
I know, I can't. I totally look at strawberries differently now. Even though I just said that, I'm like, worms are going to get in stuff or bugs or whatever. But I look at strawberries, I'm like, I don't know if I want that.
I know. I'm like watermelon and tahini.
That's the pineapple and tahini and watermelon tahini.
Yeah, that started in California, being on the beach. I loved when they would walk down the beach.
Mango.
Yeah. Or on the side of the streets. They always over by where we lived.
That's the jam.
Yeah. Mango with tahini.
We're giving you guys some summer recipes today for no reason. I don't know why.
I know. Well, I'm cooking. I'm cooking the same type of chicken that I cooked last time. I'm trying to cook. I'm trying to be better, trying to be healthier.
Yeah.
Than going out to eat. So you should be proud.
I'm so proud of you, love.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying so hard. It's like soup's hard.
All right. Well, let's take a break. We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about some other stuff. So stick around.
You guys know we love our AG1, and we have some huge news. AG1 just launched their next generation. It's the same scoop. It's just upgraded.
Same daily habit, but just an upgraded version of AG1. Next generation AG1.
Same single scoop, once a day, but with upgraded vitamins, minerals, and probiotics. And it's clinically backed. They have seriously gone the distance to raise the standard in testing.
I love AG1 because they're always trying to upgrade their product. It just gets better and better. And we love it for years now. But now this next generation is the future, because after years of development and 4 clinical trials, they're excited to announce that AG1 Next Gen, it features upgrade probiotics and added vitamins and minerals for an even more comprehensive formula.
The Next Gen formula offers a more advanced, clinically backed formula that fills common nutrient gaps and supports gut health, all in the same easy one-day ritual.
So what should I say?
How it fits in your everyday life.
All right. So as far as our daily routine goes, there is no changes. The only changes is in AG1's new formula. We still take our daily scoop in the morning. I still like it with 6 ounces of water. I pop it in there. It's the first thing I put in my body every single day.
Me, I'm vitamin D3, K2. Love that. And just need the energy. Helps with brain fog for me. I have to drink my AG1 every single morning.
AG1 Next Gen is now one of the most clinically backed green powders. They went above and beyond the industry standard in testing and now have made a great product even better.
Now clinically backed with an advanced formula. This is the perfect time to try AG1 if you haven't yet. I have been drinking AG1 for 2 years now, and I'm so happy to be partnering with them. Jeff has also been, well, actually, you've been drinking AG1 longer than me.
Yeah, but it's never too late to get on the AG1 train.
So subscribe.
Sorry.
So subscribe today and try Next Gen of AG1. If you use our link, you will also get a free bottle of AG1 vitamin D3 K2 and an AG1 welcome kit and 5 upgraded AG1 travel packs with your first order. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/togetherness to get started with AG1's Next Gen and notice the benefits for yourself.
That's drinkag1.com/togetherness.
Welcome back. Did my face look bad? I feel like my face looks bad.
Never. Absolutely not. You look beautiful and skinny.
I feel like my face is swollen. Maybe because I had a couple beers the other day.
Oh, that's so weird you said that. This has nothing to do with anything. I was on a shoot yesterday and we went to CycleBar, this place called Cycle. You know what that is? Mm-hmm. And there was this girl and I was like kind of looking at her. It was the girl I was interviewing and I was like.
It wasn't Brooke, was it?
No, it was.
Oh. I thought you were going to say it was somebody I knew.
No, it was this. She was a very pretty girl, but I like looked at her and she was doing something. I looked at her sideways and she thought I was like looking at her weird, but I'm like, oh my God, I just put it together. I'm like, you look exactly like my niece. And she looked exactly like Marley. I got to show you the shoot.
Did you take a picture?
And I go, hold on. But if you think I'm crazy, I go, look it. And I showed her Marley. She goes, oh my God, that does look like me. And then she goes, who does she get a lot? I go, I don't know. I'm like, what celebrity?
Cameron Diaz.
So Marley kind of does. This girl kind of, she goes, well, who's that girl from that? She's a real pretty girl from that Southern show, The Beach.
Southern Charm?
No. The other series.
Is it a reality show?
No, it's filmed in Charleston or South Carolina.
Outer Banks?
Yeah, Outer Banks. What's that girl's name from there?
Oh, I don't watch Outer Banks.
But you did for a season.
She's like the main character?
Yeah.
Oh, that dates that guy, the main character guy, and they broke up, and he's with Kelsey Ballerini. Oh, I don't know her name. Let me look it up.
Anyway, she said I don't know why I went down that road, but she looked exactly like my niece, which you guys don't even have pictures or anything, so you don't even know what we're talking about.
Madeline Klein?
Yes, Madeline Klein. She looked a little bit like her, but Madeline Klein doesn't look like my niece, but she's a pretty girl. But anyways, and then some other girl came out and she was jacked,
Oh, I
like
bet.
RoboCop. I was like, wow.
CycleBar?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do weights. It's intense. Brooke, who I shop in her basement, she is obsessed with cycling. She has the best arms. She has the best body. And that's what she does. I think like
I mean,
every
everybody in there are just specimens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good model for your business. Like, look what you could look like. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Thank God I was wearing, I forgot I had that shoot. So
You're so skinny. What are you talking about?
yeah, but I don't, they would whoop my ass and I'd ride the bike for 10 minutes and have a heart attack. They get serious.
It is hard.
Yeah, they get serious. You got to like ease yourself into it. And then it becomes like a little community, you know, like,
oh, like a
kind of like CrossFit. That's kind of like that. And then
Soul
the
Cycle was
Soul
like
Cycle.
that in
I guess
LA.
yoga does too. Yoga's like its own little community, you know, if you go to classes.
I don't like when it gets too like culty, like everybody's like wearing the Soul Cycle, yes, and like clapping like how it was in LA.
Yeah.
Listen, I was there at all the classes, but I wasn't I was like the one in the back. I didn't want any attention on me. I just would get my friend who she would invite me to go with her all the time. And I would go. And she was one of those people like, yes, Soul Cycle, wearing the Soul Cycle pants and shirt and
Yeah, that's
everything.
too much.
And like, I don't want to know the instructor. I don't want to be friends with the instructor. I just want to show up there, click my shoes in, look down, and when they dim the lights, get in your groove and get out. I don't want to be friends with anybody.
All right. Well, it's easier just to make fun of them than it is to get into class. But those are good, you know, because when you do like become part of that, then you're more
more prone to go.
Exactly. You kind of others hold you accountable and like, you're going to be there Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, I'll be there. Even if you don't want to go. It's like, yeah, it holds you accountable.
I felt like when I used to do, now this was 2015. This was when I got really into Soul Cycle and I was running and I got very toned that one year. It was like the smallest I ever was. I felt so strong. And then after I had Lawson, Louis, our good friend, he got me a trainer. It was his friend that trained me. And then after I had Layton, I felt like I was so weak, like not strong at all, like I had used to be. My arms were strong from carrying him all the time and lifting him, but I felt like my stomach. I used to love doing those. What is it called when you hold on to it and you just lift your legs up? And like, I felt like my stomach, my core was so strong. Now,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Where you like put your arms like at an L
yeah,
angle.
like what you have in there.
Yeah.
I can't even do it anymore.
I know.
It's harder.
You got to get back into it. You
I know.
It's like, it's so easy to fall out of it.
For sure.
And then everything starts falling. Like,
but if it was easy, we all would be fit.
Of course. But when you do it, like when you get in a routine of doing it or taking a class, you get into that routine. That's your routine.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you fall out of that, it's like dominoes. Like one thing falls and then you're eating a bag of chips and then, oh, that loaf of bread looks good. Let's do that. And
That's
like,
me.
Let's have some pizza.
That's me. And then
No, me too. I'm saying it's like, it's yeah.
The other day I was anxious. I woke up anxious and I was just, I don't know. I just had a lot on my mind. And as soon as I dropped the boys off, I put on my weighted vest and I walked 1 mile in. I did 2 miles that day. Normally I do like 3 or 5. But that day I did it. The wind was blowing like crazy. And the wind here annoys me when it's blowing. Because it's so, I mean, it's just constant. It's not like a little bit of wind. It's like hard wind when you get up to the top of our neighborhood. And anyway, and I can't talk on the phone because sometimes I like talking. That's like my time to either listen to a podcast, music, or I talk on the phone during my whole walk and I just catch up with my family or whoever. And I was walking and then as soon as because I was struggling that day and I was breathing hard and then as soon as I got a mile in, I was like, the anxiety was gone.
Yeah,
I just felt so much better. And then I came home and cleaned and did what I needed to do. But it was going to disrupt my day if I would have just stayed inside and started folding laundry. I was like, I have to get outside. I have to get sun on my face. I have to like breathe fresh air, and I got to get this exercise, power it through. And then I felt better.
That's part of the domino effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and then the anxiety builds up, and
Instead
then
of
your immune
taking
system,
one of my Xanaxes
yeah,
to make myself feel better, which I hardly take my Xanax. I don't want people to think I take Xanax all
and
the time.
I'm preaching to the choir because I haven't worked out in a little bit. So I'm kind of talking to myself in that aspect. So, it's just one thing falls, they all fall.
I know. And then, okay, so switching gears, this weekend, Lawson had a football game, and oh my goodness, you guys, he is a lot like Jeff. He's very sensitive. He's passionate. He loves football, and he really wants to win. So there was another person on another team that from the game when you were out of town, he kind of, picking on him a little bit. And Lawson, the last game, tackled him, which he shouldn't have, because you can't do that. It's flag football. And then tackled him and walked away. Well, the coach let that slide. This time, the kid pushed Lawson, and then Lawson shoved him back, which he shouldn't have. But he wants to win, and he's very into it. And the coach I like Lawson's coach because he's very old school and of teaching, and he's very good. And he lets everybody get a turn, like I said. But he was pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed.
He grabbed Lawson by the back of the jersey and pulled him off and was like, "You guys talk to your son." And then, which Lawson doesn't do well.
Listen, someone else told me like that too, but I don't like the way that you told me that. Because he hit him, hit him when you're supposed to grab the flag, and he knew he shouldn't have done that because he did it last week. I wasn't there last week when he did it, but I was standing right there when he did it this time. He grabbed his jersey and he pulled him off, and he goes, "Talk to him." Because he knows that I could talk to him because he was getting emotional.
Yeah, because with me,
so
he
other
gets
people
more
told me the story back, and he didn't say, "You talk to your son."
Yes, he did.
He said, he looked at me and he goes, "Talk to him." Meaning like, you tell him. I don't need to, you're his dad. I knew exactly what he was saying.
I'm not mad. I'm happy.
I know, but I don't want the people to think like that's the way it went down. He was saying it like, you're his dad, you talk to him. And I don't mind it at all.
I think it's good.
I don't mind any of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he took a cheap shot and punched some kid in the face. I understand kids are going to do that to him. He's got to learn to control his emotions. That's something I struggled with my whole life, and it's something I still struggle with to this day. But if you could get it under control, you could use it as a tool. Right. And he's way too young to understand that. I still haven't fully gotten a grip on it, but I have used it to my advantage, using my passion into whatever I'm doing, right? Because I love really hard and I hate really hard, and just controlling that balance, So I know Lawson is very similar to me, and he was emotional on the sidelines. And then when he's emotional because of what happened on the field, when he's off the field, he's emotional because he's embarrassed of what he just did. I did the same thing over and over. I did dumb things. I got kicked out of games. You learn from those moments. So I wanted to really capitalize on that moment on the sideline and, give him a hug and just talk to him one-on-one and
Which
relax.
You did calm him down because he was crying.
And you got to get back in there. You got to control yourself first, get some water, control your emotions, because he knows this, because I say it to him all the time. Control your emotions, take a breath, okay? It's football. There's going to be good plays and bad plays, but you always play the next play. So when you get back out there, you do your best, okay? And then there's another play after that. And just breathe and control yourself. And he was out for a couple plays, and then the coach brought him back in, and he made it.
Yeah,
and he made a play right away, and then he was okay. But he's got to learn to control that, because I never could. And I didn't think there was anybody that can control me. I don't want to sound like a psychopath. I'm just saying, like, I did have anger issues.
Yes.
And in controlling my emotions, but it was all those things. It was part embarrassment, part not being able to control it.
But it was good for Lawson. It was a good learning experience. And I'm glad you were there at that game, because with me, he wouldn't have connected with me if I had to talk to him.
But that's sports. And those are the lessons you learn through sports. Not saying you play dirty or anything. I'm not condoning that in any sort of way. But these are you learn to lose. You learn to win. You have to learn to lose graciously. You have to learn to win graciously. And those things taper off into real life as you get older,
Yeah. I feel like the last game, it was just like built up for Lawson because I feel like this kid was just starting with him and Lawson was ignoring
Well, here's
him.
the deal. I don't know this kid, and I don't think his parents listen to this podcast.
I hope not.
But so
But we're
it's
not
flag
saying
football. So
names.
the kids in good sportsmanship, when you get the flag, you hold it and give it back to the kid. So what this kid does over and over and over, then it got under Lawson's skin, and it would have got under my skin too.
Mhm.
That's why I wasn't that mad. Lawson gets a lot of flags. He's really good on defense. He likes defense, and he gets a lot of flags. And every time he gets this particular kid's flag, which again, someone should talk to him. I'm not his parent. Do whatever you want. He aggressively grabs the flag and makes like a statement and snatches it out of whoever grabbed his flag.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time he gets tackled. So Lawson was getting frustrated with it. So he missed his flag and then he kept running and then gave him a little shoulder. You know, I get it. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I told him it wasn't, but I get, listen, they're kids.
Look who his parents are. It's you. And then didn't you hear Big Sexy last time he was here talking? I tackled my teammate because he made me mad when I played co-ed soccer. And he said something rude to me. And I
what was your nickname?
Icebox. Because I was stocky and I was like kind of chunky.
The icebox is Lawson's
And
mom.
my dad, I remember this kid made me mad because he said I missed the ball or something. And I remember asking my dad if I could punch him in the face. And my dad goes, "You can't do that, Jordan." And at the next game, he said something smart to me and I tackled him. So he gets it from his
Listen, you're going to
parents.
have people like that.
I didn't hurt him. I was bigger than the guy.
No. But these are like the lessons. There's always going to be someone in your life, whether you're 8 years old or 46. There's always going to be someone in your life that annoys you, whether it's a coworker or someone in the grocery store, driving a car. You got to learn to control that, you know, and now is a good lesson.
Sometimes being an adult is hard. When I've talked to my mom, I'm like, I wish I could say blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I have to bite my tongue.
Me too.
I hate being the bigger person because I always like having the last jab in.
Oh, me
and,
too. I'm a vindictive, vicious
Oh,
asshole.
yeah. I like saying
but I
it
control it
where
mostly.
it stings. When I was 21 and had nothing to lose, I could do it. Now I have to keep my mouth
Yeah, there's
shut.
repercussions.
Yeah.
And we're parents, and that doesn't set an
I
example.
know. And it's hard.
All right. Life's hard. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and wrap it up. When was the last time you went to the doctor and needed to push it off? Our family goes in waves, and it seems once one person gets sick, the other person
We
gets
all
sick,
go.
and everybody gets sick.
I get taken down.
Right. But usually, if we're not on that train, we always have excuses. I'm too busy. I don't need the help. I don't know which doctor to go to. All those things that everybody goes through when they're feeling sick or a member of their family is feeling sick.
Well, I'm here to tell you that we don't settle anymore when it comes to finding the right doctor.
That's right. I think we've all been there. Like I just said, booking a doctor appointment can just feel so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. Let me do it again. They make it so easy to find a doctor that's right for you.
With ZocDoc, you got options. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors from across all specialties, from mental health, dental health, primary care, urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients.
Did you read that ZocDoc is free?
No. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
That's right. And ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book your appointment.
Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/TogetherMess to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/TogetherMess. ZocDoc.com/TogetherMess.
What do we learn from this podcast? Life's hard. At all ages. You know, speaking of, oh man, I better just be coughing
I
because I'm
still
laughing.
got this cough.
I had mine. I think we got something more than just.
I had COVID.
I think we both did at one point because I had that cough for like 6 to 8 weeks.
I know. And my grandparents are in their 80s. They sound like me. I called them and they have it. And they've had it forever.
Well, I better
I'm
not
like, what's
get it. I just
going
got
on?
over it. But anyway, speaking of people like that are weird, not annoying in your life.
People who go to Whole Foods?
No, why?
Oh, I always feel like people at Whole Foods are weird.
Why?
Every time I go there, I'm just like, you're weird.
Do you bring your own bags?
No.
Why not?
Because I just want to get my bag and leave. Like there. They already have
Maybe
it
they think you're
open.
weird. Maybe they're like, where's
people just like
who's this icebox that doesn't bring their own bag?
People always just not the workers. The workers are really nice. I'm talking about the people. They remind me of like when we lived in LA, how the people are.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're a little much. Like some people don't just go to the shop. They go there like to shop and make a statement.
Like they got their dog strapped on them, like a dog, like as if you had a baby carrier and there's a dog strapped on like a baby carrier. And I'm like, are you joking right now? Like it's a dog. Leave your dog in the car or leave your dog at home. You have it strapped on you like a baby and the dog's like this. Or they're like those people at Starbucks that get whipped cream for their dog for their birthday. It's so weird to me. I'm going to get bashed if you talk bad about a dog. People come at you.
Are.
Yeah.
That's all right. I took a jab at the South in this episode, so we'll get some hate mail.
Or a stroller. There was a lady walking in the other day.
Yeah, that's the worst.
She had her dog. I'm not joking.
You see that a lot in LA.
No, yeah. It was like a human stroller. And she had it strapped in. And I just looked at her. Like, are you kidding me? And she had like something else on the side holding it for her groceries. So she was pushing her dog in a stroller and then had her other thing for her groceries. And stuff like that's weird.
Listen, there's other things in life that are worse. I just don't get down with
people like that.
Yeah, I just ignore it these days. All right, so speaking about weird people, I'll tell this story real fast because I was on a shoot last week. I told you about this, right?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell everybody. So I was on the shoot the other week and we were shooting at STK Steakhouse and we do a lot of shoots like that where we go to restaurants and, you know, the chef makes all this stuff and we were filming for Mother's Day brunch and then the bartender showed the drink special. So all I have to do is go there and host it and be like, all right, Charlie, what do we got today for drinks? It's Mother's Day, blah, blah, blah. So the girl does all the drinks, right? And this is like before, it's technically open, but I go there like around 1 or so or 2, like when it's not busy before dinner and things like that. So there's nobody in the restaurant. So there was really nobody in the restaurant. I think there was 2 customers in there at the time.
I know what you're going to say.
And one was at the bar because we set up everything and the lights were in there. And then when you have the cameras out, people kind of get intrigued. So there was one girl at the bar having lunch and she had a drink. So she stuck around before we started filming. And then there was this other guy right in the middle at this table where we started setting up. And our main guy was in Hawaii filming something else. So we had 2 other people come help. And I'm still that guy that I put together all of our lights. I do the stands, put it together, plug everything in. I love setting up and helping out the camera people, you know, because we're all there. It's a team. That's not what the story's about. But I set up the lights for them. And then the camera people set up where they want it, right? I got it all set up for you. So they put it around this guy's table. Like there's a table here and then he set up the 2 lights here and they set up their camera like kind of behind him. And I was like, and he was talking to the chef and I was like, is that the chef's friend? Why doesn't the chef ask him to move? Like just move back 1 table. This is right where we're filming. And it's not like we could move because all the bar was set up with drinks and then right next to the bar was all the food. You know what I mean? So he had to be right at that angle. And I'm like, who is this guy? What is he doing? And he's done. Like, get out of here. So the other people were so nice, and I didn't say anything because I thought I was the chef's friend, right? Mm-hmm. So they set up the camera right next to him, like literally right next to him. That when I started filming, I'm looking right at the camera. He's holding his camera up and like taking pictures, and he's like kicking the chair so he could get a better angle and like making noise. I was like, while I'm trying to talk to the camera, I'm like, oh my God, what is this guy doing right now? But I still like was doing it. But in my head while I was talking, I wasn't even paying attention like to the person talking. I was like, what is this guy doing? Just get out of here. I don't know why I was focused on that. So we finished shooting, right? And the chef always sends us home. He's so awesome. He's the head chef over at SDK and Kona Grill and things like that. And he's like, hey, do you guys want this food? Because if not, we're probably just going to throw it away or take pictures and get rid of it. And I love shooting there because we always get food, you know? And these two camera people we came with are like, hey, they let you keep that? I'm like, oh yeah, dude, whatever you want. So there was this big like tomahawk shank like steak right in the middle. That was their main presentation along with all the other stuff. And this camera guy, Michael, goes, dude, can I get that steak? And I was like, yeah, dude, crush it. I'm like, I'll just take like the shrimp or whatever. And there was like smoked salmon, all this stuff. And he's like, oh man, I'm so hungry. That looks so good. So the chef is like, hey, Jeff, do you want this? You want me to box this stuff up for you? You got to take it home? And the guy who's sitting at the table, who's not part of anything, just in the way, goes, I'll take some stuff. And the chef goes, all right. Nobody like told this guy anything. Everyone's being too nice to him.
The chef wasn't even like, who are you?
No. I asked the chef, I'm like, halfway through, I go, is that your buddy? And he goes, no, I don't, that guy's just having lunch. But so you can't like tell him to leave, you know what I mean? Because he's a customer, but he should have some wherewithal, kind of like what we're saying, to move over one table. Anyways, so
that's a guy
whatever.
That's the type of guy that doesn't return his shopping cart.
Absolutely not. And he probably does more
weird things.
Weird things too. Because this is what he did. He goes, I'll take some stuff. And the chef goes, so sweet. And he goes, sure, man, what do you want? And he goes, what is that? A lamb shank? And I like looked at Michael, the camera guy, and I go, and he goes, and the chef goes, no, it's kind of like a T, or not T, what do you call that? A tomahawk. Mm-hmm. He goes, it's a tomahawk. He goes, I'll take that. And I looked at Michael and I'm like, right next to him, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe he just asked for that steak. And chef goes, sure, I'll put it in a box for you. And he boxed it up and he took it. And then the guy's like, so he's trying to talk, I'm breaking down the lights now and I'm putting them back in the box. And he's like, so where else do you work? And I was so mad about the steak for that guy, Michael. I'm like, I don't know. I worked at some other places. And he's like, oh, my brother's friend's sister was a reporter in Colorado Springs. I'm like, that sounds cool. And I was like, was so standoffish with him because I was pissed because I wanted that camera guy to have that steak. Could you believe that guy took that steak? Am I overreacting?
I wouldn't have taken that and I wouldn't have been sitting there.
And then he just walked out. He's like, good job. See you later. And then right when he left, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe he took that steak like to everybody in there. And I'm like, chef, who is that guy? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I felt bad for him. I just gave him the steak. And I was like, oh my God, that was so funny. I was traumatized.
And that's probably the most expensive thing they have.
It was the thing was probably $100 on the menu. And I wanted the camera guy to have it. It wasn't for me. It was that he was so excited about it that he pointed it out before we started. I don't know. Some people are so weird. And then I swear to God, I go, you know what I'd like to do? While we were breaking down, I'd like to turn the cameras back on and interview that guy. And just like have a camera on him and be like, all right, let me get a better sense of what's happening here. I'm going to tell you like what reality is and then maybe what your reality is. And let's talk. I would have loved to talk to him and be like, what made you take that steak? Like, let's talk about it. Am I weirdo or is he the weirdo?
No, you're very passionate about food.
But I just don't understand.
Weird. It's a weird situation. Well,
that.
I don't know. I don't think any normal person would have done that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully he's not listening to this.
All right.
Hopefully you're not listening to this Tomahawk guy.
Hey, Tomahawk Tom, if you're listening, you can come on the podcast and tell me why you took that. All right, let's do one phone call and then we'll wrap this up. What do you think?
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know why I got all worked up about that.
Let's see. Mackenzie College.
Let's do it.
Sorry if you hear our kids upstairs. I got neighbors over.
Hey, Jeff and Jordan. This is Mackenzie from Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I just wanted to say I love listening to your guys' podcast every morning before I go to my dreaded 8 a.m. classes because I'm studying to become a teacher. But on that note, do you guys have any crazy or memorable college stories? that you might be willing to share with us on air? If you do, let us know. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Mackenzie, our old babysitter goes to your college. And Leighton's kindergarten teacher right now went to college where you go.
Oh.
In Fayetteville.
There you go.
Yeah. It looks like a beautiful college. Okay, what's a crazy college story you have, Jeff? That you're willing to share.
I know. Am I willing to share? Oh, here's one that it was like a last kind of week. It was my last week of college, like prank or whatever we did. So we're all. This is so old, but it's kind of funny. So you know those big like blow up things that they put like in front of dealerships, not with the wavy arm. This was like a giant gorilla. Mm-hmm. So they had like Spirit Week or whatever it was the last week of school, you know? Mm-hmm. And so that was in our quad. Like, you know, if you're on campus, I went to a smaller university. So it's like a couple dorm rooms and then the schools and library. And in the middle's a big quad. So they had this giant gorilla like outside our window in the quad. So we're all drinking in our room. And for some reason we, like our table in our room was just like a piece of plywood with like a blanket over it, you know? Mm-hmm. So there was a bunch of us and we started drawing up plans. I don't even know how exact the story is. It's just what I remember and I'm just popped in my head now. So we started drawing like how we were going to get the giant gorilla from in the middle of the quad to on the roof of the cafeteria. And there was a bunch of people and I was involved a little bit, not like I'm not taking blame for it. I don't want to take all the credit for it, but we drew all the stuff, like a map of what we were going to do. And then we went out and it was like 2 a.m. and we carried this giant thing and climbed up on the roof and pulled it up and put it on top of the roof of the cafeteria. No harm, right? Nothing. Right. But the next day, like you have RAs, like your resident advisor. And we're like, got drunk or whatever. Obviously, we're all drunk. And they're like, I know you guys put that gorilla on the roof. And I was like, because I lived in a room with like 4 guys and then other people were there. And I'm like, dude, no, we didn't. Why would we do that? It's our last week of school. And we totally did, you know? And then I didn't even notice while he was in the room talking that table that we drew the map of what we're going to do was right there with like a giant gorilla on it. And then we drew the cafeteria of how we're going to get on there. So he's talking to us in the tables right there with the drawing of exactly what we did. And then while he was talking, we just took like a blanket, like threw it over the table. And we're like, dude, I don't know who did it. And everyone knew we did it, but we didn't get in trouble or anything.
Oh, that's
kind of like a harmless story that just popped out in my head from college.
I was visiting a friend.
I hope some of my college buddies listen to this and they hear that story. They're going to laugh. Yeah.
Mine is.
Because it's so stupid. Why would you do that? But anyways.
I didn't go to a university, so I went to Harris School. But I visited universities and would just drink. I went to Appalachian State to visit a friend. It was actually a guy. He was like the first guy that was like very polite to me and treated me very well. My mom really liked him because she was like, he's a good guy. And I was 16, I think, 17. And my mom let me go everywhere because she trusted me because I told her too much. And I go to it was supposed to be the biggest party. I guess every year they do this at Appalachian State. It's supposed to be the biggest party of the year, like a big fraternity sorority party. So I was so excited and I brought my friend. And I ended up taking all these shots before we went out. And as I'm getting ready, I'm like, I'm not feeling well, which I probably should have went to the hospital. But why
would you go to the hospital?
Oh, it was bad. It was so bad.
Oh, you mean because you drank so much?
So much before we even left. I didn't even make it to that party.
Oh, wow.
All I remember are bits and pieces. So it's almost like the Hangover story. That
you might want to dial it down 2 notches for Mackenzie. You know what I mean? Anyways.
But, this is like true story. I mean, I don't care now because it was so long ago. Thank God there was no social media and phones. All I remember is I wake up, I'm in someone's dorm, and I stole their Chapel Hill slippers.
And your butt hurt?
No. And I have my best friend with me. And
I'm joking.
And it's blurry. And then I end up in Waffle House with those slippers in the Waffle House. And then I wake up and then the cops are there and I got in trouble. And so back in the day, remember when you had like the phone lines, you had the 2 phone lines. So I had a phone line that when my parents were married, we had a pretty big house. So I had one upstairs in this bonus room and it had voicemail on there. And that was me and my sister's line for our phone.
Wow, you had 2 lines?
So yeah, and then my parents had their line. So I would give people my line and that was so me and my sister could talk
wow.
on ours. And then my dad and mom had theirs. So I gave the police that number because they were like, you're underage drinking, all this stuff. And so I gave them that line. So they kept calling it, but it wasn't going to my parents. It was just going to me and my sister's voicemail.
You weren't that drunk. That was pretty clever.
And I do remember that. And then I wake up the next day and I'm in a different dorm. And the person that was very sweet to me, he never talked to me again after that. And because I think he had to take care of me all night. And then I drove home and I listened to those voicemails that the police that left and called my parents. My parents never found out about it. But my best friend that was with me, they called her mom. And her mom was out of town and she just deleted it too. So yeah, that was one memory of being at App State.
There you go.
My poor parents, geez. I'm like, I hope our kids, I feel like so strict about things and I want to know everything and be in the business because I'm like, I feel like I tried everything. And I mean, I snuck out of my house and I was gone. I was like 16 years old. I snuck out my window and I was gone for like 4 hours. I didn't get home till like 3, 4 in the morning. My parents had no idea I left the house. It's just like things like that. But it was like the thrill.
No, here's the thing. They knew. And I
don't think they knew because I snuck
at the time, I'm always like, they don't know. I think you get to a point as a parent where you have to let go a little bit. I'm just assuming. Because I feel like my parents knew everything. How many flat tires can you have? I call them out with a flat tire every other weekend. Nick's got a flat tire. Okay, be careful, Jeff. Are you going anywhere? No, we're staying here. All right, just stay there then. Like they knew what was happening.
I think that's why my parents made me work so much when I was like 17, 18. I was working 5 days a week at this restaurant and my mom said it keeps you out of trouble. And I miss like all these parties because I was always working. And I feel like my kids, if they did the stuff that I did, I would be so mad.
Yeah, I'm going to be on it. I know exactly.
We got a camera in the back. We got a camera in the front. If I have to put a camera on the side to make sure you're not hopping the fence and somebody's waiting over here for you.
Yeah, you're in high school and you get home at 11 when I said be home at 10. And
I'm going to have a tracker on the phone.
You're kind of like a little whatever, and you come up with some bullshit excuse. I'm going to hammer it down right there. Listen.
Yeah.
I know where you were. Don't fuck around anymore. Like, I know what's going on. You know what's going on. So just tell me what's going on because all I want is for you to be safe. You know what I mean? So let's stop with these antics that I used to do. I feel
like Lawson will be the rule follower. He does not like getting in trouble at all. Leighton could care less. I always say this every time. Leighton's going to be that kid to put on that does a keg stand and puts on a football helmet and runs his head in the wall. That's Leighton.
Dude, no, here's Leighton. This place might burn down if we go out of town if Leighton's in high school.
Well, we'll never go out of town.
No, never.
Ever. Because I don't trust them. I feel like they would have a party and absolutely not. But we're going to end on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this a podcast
it's funny
or
how
the Lord of the Rings?
How I'm always like, I'd be a cool parent. And no, I'm not. Like, I'm not going to be the cool parent.
Because I'm already tired. Like, I'm tired.
I don't want to be the cool parent. I don't want to be.
Either.
I want to be.
Oh, no way.
I don't want
like
any
the
problems.
parent that's like, you guys could drink beers over here.
Oh, God, no.
No way.
No.
No
not
way.
At my
You go to
house.
jail now. But I think everyone had that friend whose parents were like,
for
you
sure.
could have some beers, just stay here. You know what I mean?
No.
Now you go to jail. Like that's not even.
Well, yeah, or somebody leave your house and something happen. Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
All right.
We're going to be the boring
let's
parents.
Wrap it up.
All right. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, tagging your friends. TogetherMess or TogetherMess.com. Don't forget about that. What else? Anything else I'm missing? All right. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, Mackenzie, for calling in. Have fun in college, but don't be like us. Bye. Yay Media Group.